Hello, hello. How you doing, Chad?
Hey, fine. How are you?
Like I didn't see you before any of this, right?
Yeah, right. This is just like spur of the moment.
um, hey, 36 of you sitting here waiting for us, and just a shy late here, but um, I had a little problem setting up my screen saving or sharing, and had to put together a format to show the pictures and all the leak stuff. And of course, I've got to go ahead, Chad. Talk. Do a roll call because
Oh, okay. Uh, well, I hear myself through your.
yeah, because
There's
my
a.
iPad just stole my Bluetooth, so
Okay.
I will change it right now.
So everyone should at least say something in the chat so I can.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring up a list of participants, and yeah, definitely more than that. All right, so we got Little Mountain Life, we got Edgar Cafe, SNL Family, JC Flying. What's going on, man? Chris Wedgeworth. We got TJ Giggles in drones, and Thomas Baker, aka TEB Drone Flyer. We got Dale Briggs, Chuck Conrad,
Been a little while since Dale's been in here.
Seneca. We have Seneca, Joel Shepard, David Reynolds, Akarasho. We got I don't know, Stefancy. I'm not sure how to say that. Stefan.
Um,
Oh, okay. Stefan Clemere. Clemere. We got Chad B. Eric Van Nonstrad. Who else? This thing keeps jumping on me. We got
you gotta hold it.
yeah, Flying Flynn Media. We got PN. We got Corey here, just kicking it. Who is this? I can't pronounce that. BAL Mail. Sorry if I messed that up. I'm not sure. We got Mike B, aka Drone Ranger, and Aju Drone, Kirk Chase, and I think that is about.
Guido, Paul, they just jumped in.
Oh, they just jumped in. Okay, yeah. All right.
John from Flying Flynn.
I got that. We got Robbie RC Pro BE.
All right.
One eye in the sky.
And they'll just keep on rolling on in, guys.
Yeah. Got Gasket Mike again. He's back. You got Intel Maxwell, multi-rotors.
Eat more possum.
Yeah, eat more possum.
All right. Joe Powers, Rick Racing, and everybody else who is rolling on in here. So just going to keep this strictly on course with just the DJI Mini, DJI Mini 3 leaks. Rumors, expectations, what we can probably easily predict maybe. And for the most part, it's always just rumors and guesses at this point. But, just keep it, we're going to keep it nice and simple. Free flowing. No, I'm telling you, I know DJI. I'm on the list to test it beforehand, all that kind of stuff. Those are the ones I can't watch. I like the ones that just sit here and, well, if we go by this from the last release or so forth, just normal sit around and talk. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And first off is just what we see and in the leaks and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull up like a little, I just put all the pictures into a video format. So we will just go through and kind of stroll through those. But the first thing I wanted to bring up, Chad, which I have in the picture reel, is do you remember the original before what we're looking at now with this new pointing up camera and everything, like the Paradenofi? Do you remember the original Mini 3 leaks?
Yes.
The one that had like the vent in the top and then the vertical vents on the side.
Yes.
Like that was a good while ago, and then that just disappeared. So whatever happened with that? Was it confirmed as anything fake, or?
I thought there was a video. Wasn't someone like supposedly flying that thing in a video or something? Or
yeah, it was like in a backyard.
No, okay.
They were showing like obstacle avoidance in the front and the back, but everybody quickly caught on that it looked like you're just jerking the stick back. But you could see a greenhouse, and it was like they were in their backyard, and you just saw it from the side. So for all we know, on this, they could have put black tape on the side to mimic those vents, but you never really got to see the front or back of it in that video. They were just demonstrating that it has forward and reverse obstacle avoidance, which looked a little weird because it would be like 6 feet from a bush and bam, hit the brakes like it should. But then all of a sudden, the next time they'd get real close to it and it wouldn't react the same. So it was convincing in the pictures. Is like you can always tell when somebody's made up this little thing they've done on their Photoshop or whatever. But the pictures that I'm gonna pop up on the screen, those were convincing. So like Thomas Baker says, that was a homemade Mini 3. They did good on the pictures, and they had me sold, but it was also the obvious. It looked exactly like a Xeno. I mean, not Xeno. Shit, somebody smacked me. Hold on a second. Drink. Looked exactly like a Mini 2, except for that top vent. And then they went with the sides, but they even showed like the obstacle avoidance on the back, and it sure as hell looked convincing. And it had enough of the big YouTubers going to where, even like Billy Kyle, I think he was the first to predict that vent was probably going to be obstacle avoidance, and then leave the little eyeballs as vents. Which if that were going to be the model, I would think it would be the opposite way around. I would think you would go stick with your sensors being there instead of a Knight Rider type sensor in that vent. It's like, I don't know of a sensor that's shaped like that works that well. Or I don't know of one made, period. We're all round camera and lens sensors. So, but anyhow, those are going to be the very first 3 pictures that pop up, and then we'll just move on from there to each one. But first off, things that we'll see in the picture I'll leave alone, but the name. So we see Mini 3 in the very beginning, and now we see Mini 3 Pro because we see this new controller with the display, which we'll definitely touch base further on that with the display on the controller. And then there's been other people that have taken that and run with it and said, is this going to be called a Mini 3 at all? Is it going to be called, are they going to add this into the Air family as like a Mini Air or something like that? There was one video I watched on that. These are all just what people build into it and come up with, but I kind of hope they go away from the name Mini, period. Like I've never liked Mini. I've just never been a big. I'm gonna go find my Mini now, guys. My DJI Mini. That's why I was happy when the Autel came out with Nano, even though that means Mini basically. But I'm gonna pull up this little video share here. I just wanted to see something. Okay. So as soon as I push it up, it's going to go straight into the the very first picture of what I was talking about is this guy right here. So that looked pretty damn convincing. Like for a Photoshop, that vent, I mean, if you really, really look at it, it's like, yeah, that's something added. It could be very easily added, but the way the vents and everything were in the back, and
I mean, it does look convincing. I mean,
it's very convincing. But look how easily the blade covers the DJI M, and then you don't see anything after that.
I mean, well, it says
very
Mavic.
Convenient. Oh yeah,
It says Mavic.
So Mavic. So that right there might have just been a complete screw up on their part, unless they were trying to sidetrack everybody to say, we're going to call this a Mavic Mini. We're going to go back to that Mavic Mini, because the very first Mini was Mavic Mini, and then it went to Mini 2 or DJI Mini 2. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so convincing that it completely distracted me from the fact that it said Mavic. But going from that, just looking at the other views of it, of course you're going to put DJI Mini 3 real big over top of it. So, now that, you're sitting here thinking doctored up, you see things that are being covered up here. So, but in one picture I had seen that DJI logo on the top back was much bigger, and then here you see it much smaller. So, but showing those vertical vents, again, very convincing, and front vent convincing, or whatever that is, and then the obstacle avoidance, all that stuff. So,
I mean,
it
makes
looks
sense.
it looks a little strange there on the left and right of those sensors, where it's like dark black. But this is what you would expect. This is what you would expect to come into a Mini 3 going from Mini 2 if we go with the traditional type DJI updates in that Apple format.
But, this is something that we definitely would expect. But the one that they have now, the design that they have now is something that I would have never thought that was.
Exactly.
I would have never thought.
We'll move into that one. Hopefully I put them all in the right order. Yeah. Okay. So into this guy right here. Definitely a distorted looking. I mean, the poor guy looks like he is squished up. But in comparison to the controller is almost like normal. It doesn't look so squished up, but the way that one is kind of squished up it's a funny ass looking quad. It's a shocker when you first look at it. But going with that right there, we'll go into just looking at the quad itself first, and then get into some specs. What you can easily see there, which obviously you guys probably can't see it real good. But what you can see there, if you have it up full picture on your screen, is on the lens of the camera, you have E24. Now, is that equivalent focal length?
Can we say on the camera?
Yeah, above 1.7 aperture on the camera.
Is it possible you can zoom in? I can't see that.
Haven't you looked at this picture?
I've seen it, but I saw the f 1.7. I didn't really pay attention to the E. That could be.
It's going to stay this size.
Oh, okay.
Unless
I thought someone
let
said
me try
what that
this.
was before, but yeah, I'm not sure. If anybody in the chat knows what that means.
But looking at, oops. Hi, Chris. Looking at different specs. Bring it back up. Looking at different specs, you see E24 or E whatever, and it says equivalent focal length. I don't think they would put like an exposure number on there or anything like that. Yeah,
it's the focal length. Also, who said that in the chat? Someone just said that in the chat as well. It's the equivalent focal length of a 24 millimeter lens. So it's probably like a crop sensor lens of it's probably like a probably 18 millimeter maybe, but with the crop sensor, it's probably focal length of a equivalent focal length of a 24 millimeter.
Okay. And then another thing, it's really hard to see, even if I'm looking up. I've looked at every image of this I could find, where because there's different kind of brightnesses and stuff. The very front of the camera, it looks like there is a seam on that lens, like that is one of those good old locking UV style lenses, which I really hope it is, because I don't like these clip-on type. At least I don't like the Mini 2 clip-on filters. I like the ones that they came out with for the Nano, but I didn't like them for the Mini 2.
Because
they'll pop off. You touch them, they'll pop off.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
like a spring. But that's one thing I'm hoping with that lens is it's got that, how you twist it and then pull it off. It falls in those notches.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be the UV lens that comes with it. And then when you buy your filters, you take that UV lens off and put that on. But you can barely, if you go and look at Google DJI leaks, DJI Mini 3 leaks, you'll find this picture in different brightnesses and stuff. And I didn't think about it at the time when I pulled this one up to show. But you can see a little bit of a seam there where traditionally we don't have that seam on the Mini cameras. So that's one thing I'm hopeful for. So that's one thing for that camera that I would love to see, is that type of filter come off of it. But looking again at that, you also see the aperture of 1.7. So the way this is kind of distorted and everything, if it's supposed to make it just kind of fool us and trick us into thinking we're looking at a box, and they've gone and made it look a little funky, I don't know. But if this is exactly what we can bank on and that information is true, then that's what we can expect right there, is a 1.7 aperture, which that's nice. And then, of course, you see the front forward-facing sensor. And then in the sketch, and when you were on live last week on Fly Zone Drone, Maddie and other people, I guess, had said about the sensors being on the back, and that comes from a drawing. There's a drawing out that I'm going to pull up next, and it actually says that it's the rear-facing sensors directly behind that forward-facing sensor. So that's something, like, there's so many things about this that really have me, I mean, I already know I'm going to buy it. You already know you're going to buy it no matter what. But unless it's $3,000, but
Exactly.
This design, just looking at, first thing comes to mind is I'm looking at a frog right now or something like that. But having those rear-facing sensors right there, my thought is you've got the body right behind, directly behind it. Even if these are like fisheye or whatever, maybe they're angled up. It looks like they do have an angling up. You know what I mean? Can you kind of see the slant in it?
And the
right here. Can you see my mouse on that?
No,
you
I
can't, because I'm not doing the share screen.
Yeah,
Sorry,
sorry,
guys, my share screen doesn't work. I can only share video. But
I was trying to
right behind it, that cutout, it's kind of slanted to where it looks like that sensor might be pushed up a little bit.
yeah.
And then, which I'm going to point out again in the drawing, okay, the sides here, well, of course we have it to where the cutout to where speculation is. I think it's been almost, it's close enough to being confirmed that it'll point up like the Paradenofi. And those side bits have people thinking that we have a 2-axis stabilized camera, image stabilized, where I think we're still going to have a 3-axis gimbal there. I think what they might have going on there is something that actually kind of works as the gimbal dampener system, as in probably a new type of gimbal dampener system. And the whole gimbal itself is going to flex, not just the camera within the gimbal.
Think so?
That's what I hope. I don't want a 2-axis, even if it's DJI saying we've got this locked in that we can give you a good stable image. I'd rather have my 3-axis gimbal. It would take away our horizon tilt issues, though.
Yeah, it would.
That's the one positive side. You can automatically rule out we're not going to have a horizon tilt in our frames.
Mm-hmm.
But going on, let's go on to the next, because it can still dive into stuff like this, and we can talk about the display on the screen. But
Don said it was a 2.5 axis gimbal.
2.5. So if you look at that picture of the gimbal itself, look down underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's got that one side arm that travels down like your typical gimbal.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like the gimbal itself is what's going to turn as a whole. The gimbal frame is going to turn as a whole to give you that access. Mm-hmm. And then you can see at the very top back, you can see where it's got that little moon circle, half circle, where we're going to have our other access. And then our pivot would be from the bottom, that bottom circle. So it would appear that we have 3-axis motors sitting right there if you look at this picture and just kind of picture the build. And then the sides would be some sort of new type of dampening system set up. So that's where I'm going with it. That's what I think. I think it's a 3-axis gimbal. Okay. I haven't been following a lot of people, so I don't know what everybody is saying about it being 2-axis and 3-axis. I have just heard a few where they say they think it's going to be 2-axis image stabilized. But I think it's going to be looking at that right there and just trying to think of the mechanics. The engineer, the geek engineer in me says it's going to be a 3-axis gimbal. And I'm sticking to that one.
I'm sticking to 2-axis with digital stabilization.
I'm glad we disagree on that.
Yeah, so we'll see. You want to wager on that?
That's why I'm glad. What's the wager?
I don't know. We'll come up with something. I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. But yeah,
we have to do a live. We have to do a live with you. We have to do a morning coffee live with you getting straight out of bed, not doing jack shit to yourself.
Really? Well, I look just like this. It's not like I got to do my hair.
No, because you gotta make sure that the hair's right, and you gotta make sure your ears are straight. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're clean shaved. Can't have the bags under the eyes. That would be, I think, a straight out of the bed morning video would be something that would drive you nuts.
In my jammies. Well, I sleep. I sleep in the nude, so I guess.
All right. Okay. Let's skip that part of the wager.
Just messing.
We'll make it money.
Okay.
We'll make it money. But yeah, that's where I'm going with on that camera. So the sensors, all we can do is speculate. We can only go based off this picture and talk about the two sensors that it's pointing to. I haven't seen anything with pictures of this style drone with the sensors in the back or the downward facing. Not even a mention of them. So it's saying since the backward sensor systems right there. These are spec guesses. So
I'm just trying to figure. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just have to kind of go with that, but I'm not sure of those being. I want to say naturally no. These are not rear-facing sensors right there. I really just don't see that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the field of view of the sensors. Pointing backwards, since the fuselage and everything is right there. So I'm just thinking about the field of view. Like,
yeah,
it only can see in probably one direction. Maybe it depends on the standoff distance. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that the actual standoff distance is probably like 20 feet anyway. So the field of view gets wider as you go further out. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This would be, as far as I know, a first
Mm-hmm.
with your backward facing sensors in the very front.
Yeah.
And I'm not all keen on this being a first. Like I don't want the new test products like this. Like I feel like this could be an issue. This could be a problem if that's the way that's going to be. I would prefer them to be right at the very back. This is what's going to stop you when you're backing up. You know, it's like putting the switch to your rear bumper airbag that's going to deploy your airbags inside your car. It's like putting your rear switch for that rear bumper up on the driver's side door. You know,
Mm-hmm.
To me it doesn't. I don't feel like that's what that is. I think that guess is wrong. I'm going to go with that's wrong. I think that is the arm cut out for when you fold it, and that one arm is just not fully closed. If you look at the other arm on the other side, it looks like it's fully closed into that gap.
Well, that's from the perspective of the drawing. You
That's
never
from
know.
the
I mean,
box.
this is
The drawing is just what they took from the box.
yeah.
So, if you go back to that picture on the box, it's the same exact layout and everything. They just it's like an outline drawing of it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But one arm looks like it's fully closed, and one arm looks like it's partially open.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the cutout for the arms. I really don't think that's a backward sensor. I don't know what you guys think.
Even even though it says it right there.
Yeah, because look at up top. Who is this? It's Deals drone, DJI Mini 3 spec guess.
Guess, yeah, true.
So
It does say guess.
does say guess.
Yeah.
So this is taken off the box, but these little arrows and everything that you're seeing point to it are all guesses. Mm-hmm. You could do this, I could do this, anybody here in the chat could do this. I'm going to go with this question here real quick. I don't think they will. RYYG sensors. I think DJI will stick with their own little thing on this. Like I feel like that would be trailing Autel a little too much. But if they do that type of sensor, we might not even know about it. Like they they might call it some other technology, even though that's not Autel's technology. I mean, it's just a sensor filter. But I don't think they will. I think that's something they've already had this thing planned before Autel came out. You know what I mean? Like when they release this, they're planning the next one. DJI is ahead of their game. Generally, when we see these leaks, everything plays out, which we'll talk about towards the end. But everything plays out the same. These leaks, I forgot who said it in one video. There's always some disgruntled employee that has to go and show the leaks.
Yeah.
How convenient, how they're always the same, just showing you like just enough, just a little nibble there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
These are not by mistake. They're never by mistake. I wish I could remember who this was I was watching, because it was, these are leaks, and then they hear all of us talk about it like we are right now, and if there's any fine-tuning or last-minute changes, they're getting all their feedback from us right now, and everybody else who's done this ahead of us, because there's been much more video about this since doing this live here with you and I. But moving on to the next one, and then we'll get more, and once we get done with these pictures, we'll get into a little more of the rumors, guesses, prices, and then focus on you guys in the chat and interact with your feedback. So looking at the mid frame, there's really not much you can tell. I mean, you can obviously tell where the arms swing out and where the arms roll out. You can tell, the back shows where you can see like a micro SD card slot, and then the USB-C type It doesn't show any cutout for sensors or anything, but that could be a part of the bottom frame because this is a mid frame. Bottom frame's going to snap on. Top frame's going to snap on. But it really doesn't give us much to. It doesn't offer much.
I mean,
As far as to really speculate on anything there.
basically, you can see the cutout in the front for the where the camera
Yeah.
goes and all that stuff, and on the and where the arms, or actually where the gimbal may attach.
If you're looking
In
at
the
the
front.
picture all the way on the left,
Yeah,
the furthest out is where the gimbal is.
yeah.
And then back into the frame is where the arms roll out. Do that swivel.
So it's adding up to what we see on the box or the photo or picture that we see.
It definitely is. It definitely is. So, there's not a whole lot to be said with that as far as I'm concerned, unless there's something that jumps out at you that... the only thing I don't see is, are we going to have... I don't want a door. I don't want a hatch. I don't want a battery bay hatch.
Yeah.
Just give me a battery that snaps in there. Come on. That breaks on people. It's easy. I've never broke one, but I have repaired them. Repaired one. And I guarantee that just breaks on people all the time, and then they probably go and put tape on them or band them or something like that just to be safe. But
I left mine open one time, and I took off. No, let me. So I've heard about it.
it's a wind scoop. But so when he comes back, I'll move on to the next one. But I'll look down and see what you guys are saying. Hey, Sergio. Side data port. Yeah, you can see You can see what looks to be a side data port in that first picture. But this, like I said, it really gives you... Oh,
So I was flying like this one
sorry,
time.
buddy. Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to click on that. But, this looks real. This definitely looks real. The other stuff, it's speculation and guess. Even that box, even that printed box, we can't say that's 100%. This being held in somebody's hand, it's definitely something. We don't know. What we're gonna end up with in the end of this live, talking about the typical ways DJI does stuff. This isn't a mistake. This isn't being leaked in front of us is a mistake. So I think we are actually. I think we can confirm we are looking at a Mini 3 here.
Yeah.
So Mike, I didn't mean to click on you there, but I wanted to at least answer that since I did click on you. And I just want to make sure I'm only grabbing the comments that I see at the bottom. So moving on to the next one. I don't remember what that is. I think I put this in extra. Yeah, I wanted to talk about those sticks, but I don't want to sidetrack this because I don't think this is what we're going to see at all. I think this is going to be for your advanced pro controllers.
Yeah. Yeah. None.
But
Yeah.
I thought it was something interesting to have, but we're not going to jump into that now. So, but looking at those pictures, and hopefully you guys have all seen these pictures, but if you're interested in this, you've already looked at those pictures and studied them, and made your own little speculations and things like that, your own little guesses. But it sounds like everybody's pretty much resting on a 1/2-inch sensor. Would you agree on that? I'm not saying everyone. I should clear that up. It seems to be the most common thing I'm hearing people say. Definitely not going to make it to a 1-inch sensor, but saying a 1/2-inch sensor.
I think close to what the Autel Nano was, or Nano Plus is the 0.8 sensor, whatever.
Now, do you think they're going to try to follow this?
I think they're going to try to beat their quality, like as far as image quality. Not sure how they're going to do it, but
Well, here's my thing in that. They could have already done it.
Yeah,
They can always do it. But the one thing we have to keep in mind is every single thing we want in this Mini 2, the one thing we have to keep in mind is we have to keep in mind that we have to keep the Air 2S in market. So if we go and make this thing up close to Air 2S or better quality than Air 2S, people aren't going to be wanting to buy the Air 2S as much. Its lifespan is gonna die out a little sooner than it should.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, they're not going to make this thing. I think we need to follow more of Air 2 specs that they would go with on a Mini 3 than going as far as a camera that blows away the Air 2S.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean that's something to think about right there in that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just one thing I hear the most of is, half-inch sensor, and then also I hear 4K 60 frames per second, nothing more than 4K, because again, then you're encroaching on the Air 2S.
Yeah, but as far as like you were saying, the camera, yeah, I did say that they try to match it. They may try to match it, but in actuality, all they need to do is make a good quality drone that works and has a decent image, and it'll win out over any other mini drone out there.
And they've been laughing at every Mini release.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guaranteeing that. Like they probably have a party every time somebody releases a Mini because it's a good time for them at the company. It's always something to talk about it around the water cooler.
Yep.
But so there's no reason to even sit here and say we need to make a drone and advertise it to where its big focus is night video, quality, low light image sensor, because they don't have to beat the Nano. As far as I'm concerned, Nano's screwed.
Actually, the Mini 2, Mini 2 is already beating the Nano anyway. It's more popular. So the Mini 2...
Too many problems hurt the Nano in the beginning,
yeah.
And then the price hike between those two. Mm-hmm. It's let's go to Mini 2, or if I'm willing to spend that money, let's go up to Air 2S.
Yeah, Air 2S. Yeah. So all they need to do is just put out something that works. They don't even have to put too much stuff into it anyway.
Yeah.
As well, I don't think so.
I mean, and that goes to what we're normally used to, which is why the picture of this thing blows me away, because we're used to these lighter style DJI type updates.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't one of them.
No.
From looking at that, this is not one of them. I mean, we've never had a DJI pull a Paradenofi on us with the camera. That's one thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the fact that they are so stuck on sticking with the same body styles. I mean, that body style is like, it doesn't change. Now, there's not much you can do in that type of body style if you want to, stay within your foldable arms and all that. But
yeah,
it traditionally always looks like a Mavic,
Mm-hmm.
And now what we're looking at doesn't resemble that whatsoever. They're completely, I mean, like I said, to me it kind of looks like a frog if you just look at that one picture, just because it seems like it's so crunched up. But
the Mavic is a Mavic. The Mavic 3 is a Mavic, and everything else is just what it is.
Yeah, but they have that same look is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Body frame has that same style,
Yeah, true.
So, the one thing that cracks me up, the number one topic or the one thing you can always count on seeing in people's comments in their videos, anybody talking about this, I need active track. Everybody has to have active track.
Yeah.
That is like the biggest thing with all drones. You have to have that active track.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really need the active track, but that's one thing everybody is going to be looking for. I mean, doing my nano videos, I mean, right from the start, active track after active track after, that's all anybody wants. But I just thought I'd pull that, mention that because it just cracks me up that is like, that's a selling point. That's an actual,
Yeah.
that's a make or break for some people. It's like, it doesn't
Yeah.
have it. I'm not buying it.
Well, this
And you're going to go, I know where you're going to go. So go into it.
okay. I mean, I think active track, I mean, actually will be better on this type of drone than it would be on the bigger drones because this drone here, a lot of people like to travel with it. They like to film themselves with it. So having active track, is a plus because you can easily film yourself on vacation or something like that. When you're traveling, doing little vlogs or whatever, it's easier as a solo creator to use, active track with this light and convenient and compact drone. Now on the bigger drones, I mean, you don't really travel with a bigger drone. I mean, there's a lot of creators out there that use the bigger drones, but they don't even use the active track. I mean, they don't even, bother with it. But I think
Yeah,
it'd be more
and
useful on the smaller Mini.
where I thought you were going to go though is, I thought you were going to go with people that this is their only option. This weight
Oh,
range of 249 grams.
mhm,
Then they have no other options as far as what else to look into when it comes to buying something with active track.
mhm,
They have to buy something 249 grams to make life a lot easier for them in this hobby and where they live. And if it doesn't have active track, then I mean technically they have to run to Xeno for that. They have to run to Hubsan for that if this doesn't.
mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
And it's funny because aside from the kick-ass camera on the Nano, it's funny how they've come down. I don't want to get into the Autel books here, but it's funny how they've come down to the level of the Hubsan, at least in my eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
I've yet to give I'm going to do my final thoughts on that squad, and I'm sure everybody's expecting me to completely trash it, but I'm not. I'm not. It's just where I'm stuck. I'm just
Mhm.
stuck on the whole dummying down with the wind. It just
Yeah.
kills it. And now, as you saw, how it affects the battery in a range flight, causing you
Mhm.
to bail. But I just thought I would throw that in with the active track. I feel like that is definitely something for people that if they feel like if they're in a situation where they have to have a sub 249, a sub 250, active track. Their window is closed as to what they can buy, and
Mhm.
active track is a big thing for them. So, um, and then the one thing I wanted to talk about was I think we're going to see our base. We're going to get into my price guesses here and your price
Okay.
guesses here. And we did not talk about this because I don't want to know what Chad, like, I don't, this is why I don't like to watch other people, because I really don't like to watch what other people think and then they influence me to change my mind. Um,
Mhm.
so in talking to Chad, I told him I don't want to know what you think price wise, because when we get to it doing the live, then I want to see if we're on the same playing field here. But I think there's going to be with that controller. I don't think this is what I want. Looking at that controller, I think we're going to have different versions here, or I want different versions here. I keep saying think, but this is what I want.
Mhm.
We'll have a base package, our typical one battery base package. Then we'll have a Fly More package. But will both that base and Fly More have that controller with the display on it, or will they have the traditional controller we're used to? And then there be a Pro version where you get that controller with 3 batteries, say. So I'm going with, I kind of hope they do that, because I don't think I'm not sure which I would buy yet. with that controller, because I'm not crazy about that controller. And now I've gone and spent the money here on this triple tech.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use it at all flying that quad. I would,
Unless you can't see the screen on that new controller in the sun.
yeah, but would you be able to hook up your tablet, and would you want to hook up a heavy triple tech to a big tablet that's got a display screen on it? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my guess. That's my wish list for it, is that we don't have to be stuck to that type of controller, because I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is, and I'll buy it. But if I have the choice, I'm not sure I'll go with that. I'm not sure that's a big selling point for me at all, because I don't like my sticks way up here where I can't have my hands over that image.
Yeah.
Because I'm not perfectly vertical with my thumbs. I'm out a little bit, but I would still be covering that screen on the ends.
Can you bring up that photo again, or
of the screen?
Yeah, another remote.
Okay. Right there.
Yeah. So the way, as you're describing, the way it looks, your hand, depending on how you grip,
you're going to be partially on the screen.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, even if this is, no telling if this is even, true. You never know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Let's say this is, though. If this is, I mean, this is the realest thing you've seen, and this is what everybody's going off of. This in the drawing, it'd be hilarious if what we get is absolutely nothing like this whatsoever.
I know, right?
I would love that. Actually, it would be.
Oh man,
it would be hilarious. Because even Drone DJ and I forget her name when they do their lives on this. What's that lady's name? Do you ever watch Drone DJ's lives?
No.
Not many people do, actually. It actually surprised me. Everybody follows everything with the Drone DJ and
on Twitter, yeah.
These leakers, but yeah, it's not on their lives. Sometimes it's just me and 5 other people watching. But it's him and an Asian woman, and I mean, they're dead. They sound like they're pretty dead set on this. Like, this is the way it's going to be. And plus, they do show. It's not like they've just gone and moved it up and created this image. They're showing those bottom holes where it looks like you put your lanyard screw-ins. And if that's the case, I hate that too. Like, the whole thing with a lanyard for me is it needs to be balanced. It needs to sit there to where I can just let that baby rest up against my stomach and touch the screen, and I don't have to hold the controller at some points.
Yeah, Corey was saying, with the screen being there, you probably hit return to home by accident or something, or activate something on the screen that, inadvertently.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then he also just said about no lanyard clip. I think that's what those would be. That's just my guess. Those 2 holes at the bottom.
Screws, yeah.
I think that's how they did it on smart controllers, correct? You've never had one, so I don't know if you've paid attention to those. But
a lot of people like that smart controller. I mean, it doesn't seem like they have issues with that. And it's built the same way, isn't it?
Yeah, and you see people also putting those on the smart controllers on tripods.
Really?
So I think there is the need to have it to where, when it's something bigger, there is the need to have it balanced on something, whether you're not holding it or it's around your neck and you're wearing it. You still want it to be balanced. You don't want it to go flopping down, because then you're still holding it. The only purpose of that lanyard is when you decide to stop flying and let it hang down off your neck like a necklace.
Yeah.
But I that's not a big deal to me. But I'll come up with something on my own for that, or wait for Dobo to do it. So yeah. Going off of that with the controller, do you need me to keep it up there?
No, you can. You take it down.
So going off that with the controller, that's where I feel like it says Mini 3 Pro. That's just a speculation or guess. But I feel like if this is what it's going to be, please just give us our standard normal controller that we're used to. And I feel like the people that just have to have the best of everything are definitely going to get this Pro controller if that's the case. And then there's the standard ones, the ones that think a little more about what you're actually going to be doing with that controller. And like Corey mentioned, the possibilities of hitting something, unless they, I don't know, I don't want to get that far into the specs of what they could do to change that from happening. But bottom line is I would like to see 2 versions if that's going to be the type of controller we get.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I would like to see.
So what is your guess on the price?
Okay, so let's go into prices. Nobody say anything. Don't you say a word.
Okay.
Everybody. Let us say what we think for prices first, and then you guys can throw yours all up there. And here's mine. So I'm going with 2 models, and I'm going base, Fly More, and Pro. In Pro, I really just threw a number in there. But for my base package, I'm going between $650 and $750. I'm going to always keep a $100 window there. So for my Fly More package, so we get the controller, whatever that turns out to be, and 3 batteries and our little our man purse, and all the little stuff we're used to having with that. I'm putting that at $799 to $899.
Okay.
And then if it's a Pro version, that's just I can't. That's where it's hard for me because I'm looking at this controller thinking price hike, tariffs, price hike. Everything's a price hike right now, and I still feel like my prices are on a low side if you factor in all that kind of stuff. But if this is going to be a Pro controller, Fly More package as an additional option above a standard controller that we're used to, I'm going to go up into the $1299 to $1399.
Wow.
Which, if you buy the Air 2S with a smart controller, what's that price? So you're
what is that?
Still not running into it.
Oh.
I don't know the exact price, but you're still not running into it. So,
Well,
originally I was $900 on a Fly More, and I've kind of been wanting to drop that down. So that's when I went to my window of $100. So $799 to $899 is where I am on a Fly More of whatever controller we end up with. So what's your guesses? First off, do you think there's going to be... Do you feel like there will be that type of controller? Do you feel like that controller is real?
Yeah, I think it will be a Pro model. I think that will be offered in a Pro package, I guess. And just the way they released the Mavic 3. Well, originally the Mavic 3 just came with the regular controller, right? And then they somehow later on offered the Pro RC Pro with it, as far But I do think there will be a beefed up controller with it. It may look like that, it may not. And as far as the prices, I predict that it will be, and I'm not giving a window. I'm just going to give, a number. So I'm going to go up $150 on the base. I'm just going to take the route that they did last time. $150 on the base. So it's $450. Currently, the Mini 2 is $450, or it was. I'm going to go up to $600 on the $599.
Write yours down. So $600 on a base.
Yeah, $599, $600.
$599.
Yeah, for the base, which was the amount of the Fly More last time. And then I'm going to go with 700. About 750 for the for the Fly More with a regular remote.
Don, post your prices up again. I didn't see it. Which one for the Fly More?
$750.
Okay.
And then as far as if there is a pro package with the smart remote or whatever you want to call it, I see it coming in maybe around $1,000. I wouldn't say any more than $1,100.
I'm putting you at $1,100.
Okay.
Chad, big loser. Not that you're losing. You're just a big loser. That's all I meant. I don't want to offend you and say your prices are wrong. Okay, but interesting. I'm glad that we're off like that. One comment. Where was it? One comment about running to the Air 2S if its price is like that. Remember, I'm talking if we have a normal. I'm kind of banking on having a standard controller and then a pro version. Your pro version is always going to skyrocket up there because they're gonna, no matter what that thing costs them to build, that's gonna be almost the price of a drone itself. So that's my running that price up $12.99, $14.99 if it's a pro smart controller type package. But yeah, that was in Telemex.
So Don.
It's way too early to ask this question. Will it bind to the Mini 2 and Air 2 or Air 2S? No, it won't. I'll say that right now. It won't bind to the. It probably won't bind to a Mini 2. They're going to separate these guys.
So I'm sorry. Let me go back because I was looking at Don's prices. He did mention like the Fly More package. Fly More package of the. Of like the
so Mini 3 base with old controller $499. So he's
low.
He's keeping it where it's at now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $499 now, right?
It's $450.
Or yeah, like $449.
Yeah, $449 now.
And then a Fly More package at $650. So you're way under us, Don. I'm gonna disagree on that one. Like I feel like we're definitely because these price hikes and stuff. Even if DJI is not really feeling much of a pinch, if they've been able to get away with that with all their DJI stores and stuff in the U.S., even though we have this, the government issues against DJI and all that and trust, even if they're not getting hit with these price inflations, I think they're going to take advantage of those excuses. Just like I feel like the chip shortage has been over excused. And COVID, everything's COVID, mm-hmm. And I mean, this is a way of life now, so it shouldn't be used as so much of an excuse.
Yeah.
After 2 years, it's kind of become a way of our life. But I'm going to totally disagree with you on that, Don. I'm so sorry. I think the controller will be $100 less than the Triple Tech 7. He's probably speaking of the Pro controller.
Yeah.
Sorry, it jumped up on me here. I think they'll have to keep her. Okay. I think they'll have to keep the Mini 2 around a long time, so they still have the $400 to $500 offering. Maybe SE goes away. SE didn't turn out like they expected, I think. And they certainly don't need to rush this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they don't release this in April, because I heard I saw someone in a comment said they saw a picture where it said coming in June of 2022. I don't want to really wait till June, but they can hold out. DJI can hold out.
Shenzhen is on lockdown.
They're on lockdown.
Yeah.
They're on their convenient lockdown right now.
Right after the 1 month 1 month holiday.
Well, they're trying to lasso up this thing called COVID all of a sudden. Like, we have to lock down the country all of a sudden one more time. I don't know. It's very weird to me right now. I'm not going to get into the politics of things, what I think, but Mini 3 Cinema, 1 terabyte. Ooh, SSD, 3000.
Yeah.
And it makes your coffee.
Yeah.
Drone Nerds has a 2S Fly More, $12.99. Is it?
Do they have their own? I guess they have their own store.
Yeah, Drone Nerds does sell drones.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was putting up a Mini 3 price, so sorry. $11.99 seems legit with a smart controller. And the whole point of me putting my iPad here was to watch that, but I don't know why my chat's not scrolling. I swear. Okay, so inflation has hit Don. He raised his current base to 50.
No,
So inflation is catching up to him there in the sticks of
So,
Virginia
550?
up there in the mountains. I think the altitude's messing with Don's thinking a little bit.
the air's
Now,
too thin.
Don, you better be editing right now. You're supposed to be editing. Another point, it will bind to the new Pro controller. Yeah, and see, that's another thing. You can never expect with DJI to just say, will this bind to other smart controllers? Or what are they call them? You have the smart controller, and then they're calling it the Pro controller?
I don't know. And that's the thing about these darn leaks. You never know anything. They just tease you. And
I would say they would call this a Pro controller. I don't think this adds up to a smart controller. Mm-hmm. Smart controller is definitely much bigger screen, your brightness and all that. I don't know if they would pack all that same brightness into this.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's just going to be a basic screen maybe, and not like the smart controller.
Where sun could be a big issue.
Yeah.
Anybody agree with Chad?
Oh yeah, I got some. See, you missed that. See, you conveniently missed all that stuff.
Who said it?
It was back. It's way back here. I was saying something else.
So it's a lie.
Yeah. Okay. It was Mike B agreed with me on something. I forgot what it was, and it was someone else.
There's no Mike B in the chat. I've never seen. There's no Mike B. You're lying. Okay. It's all fake. Hurry, let me block Mike B. Where is he? No, honestly, I didn't see it. So yeah, you think it's going to be more towards the cheaper side of Chad, or the higher side that I went with? So Chad's base $599. I'm $650 and over. Fly More for Chad $750. I'm $799 and over. And we'll just skip this Pro altogether because we really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But see, that's where again we're saying Pro. The Pro controller alone is approximately $1,200, but this isn't anything like any of the other controllers. This could be just a cheap version, so we can't compare it to those at all, but we do know that would be a price increase. I mean, I would think it would be safe to say your standard controller that we have now, and then adding a display, you're going to have a price increase.
Yeah, and I hope if they want to put a screen on there, they have to put a good screen or a good something with real good brightness, because that'd be just a waste of money. And what if you don't have the option to put a phone on there? I don't know if they have a dual option where you can just put a phone on there as well. But if they're going to offer that,
but what an awkward clinky dink,
yeah,
you got to start building your controller before you fly.
Yeah. So
is the pain in the ass there.
So yeah, that has to be a really good screen because we could put other options on there if it was a regular remote like your triple tech. So um, you know,
Yeah.
all we can do now is speculate, man. I hate this part of the whole
Yeah, and that's
drone
why
video screen. I
you
just
know
hate
I
this.
don't like to do the speculations and all that, but I've been
Yeah.
watching others to where I'm like, no, 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 I disagree with you on
Yeah.
this or that, but I just wanted to just at least do our comparisons together and see what other people have to say, and just see what we end up getting. I'm not going to turn this into a whole saga of the minis like we did before. We went a little crazy on the Autel stuff because we saw actual drone,
Mm-hmm.
and it lived for so long before we saw actual
Yeah.
drone in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to do this here, but the good thing is, and this is where we can talk about the normal traditions of DJI, is when they have leaks, they tend to execute pretty quick. Like
Yeah.
we're not going to have to wait that long, and typically, if you take out the Mavic 3, we get a fairly finished product. We're not getting the headaches and problems that you
Yeah.
get with a lot of other drones.
Usually when you see that FCC filing is like another week or so, 2 weeks, I think,
Yeah.
before release.
So you can bank on them being pretty quick on execution once we see these leaks, and then like Chad just said with the FCC filing, these leaks. I don't know how many of you guys think that it's really just a disgruntled employee that's like, hey, I'm gonna take a picture and post this. It's completely. I mean, it's the same thing every single time, and it almost plays out same time length and everything that we see these, unless somebody creates a fake one, like we talked about with his first pictures of our very first rumored Mini 3. So my end thing with it is, as far as this drone period, is I'm extremely happy to see something that's going to be completely different from what we're used to. I love the hey Jaybird drone,
Yes,
aka Chuck.
yeah, Chuck. I
I
haven't
think.
seen him in a while.
I don't know. Well, that's why I'm thinking, because everybody else that I would know that would have that one, or not everybody else, but some others I know that would have a fake Jaybird is not. They're already in here, so it's always funny just to see it though. But and it completely just threw me off my game, like it's supposed to. So you did very good there. But what was I saying about the? Totally threw me off my
Yeah,
freaking
I
game.
was reading that. I was reading the chat while you were talking. Anyway,
It's not Chuck. I can go back to my list and I can figure out who it could be. There's like one of 5 people that it could be. I was talking about how excited I was about the fuck you, Jaybird. How excited I was about the fact that it is something that is completely different looking and has us wondering, like, this is really the first time. It's not an easy prediction of your Apple style updates. Maybe in the end that's what we're going to get. We're really not going to get all that much except for a completely different looking drone, and we're not going to get the perks that we're really hoping to get. Maybe we are going to get that Apple update and go from our mini, go from our Pro model to our Pro Max model like Apple does, and not really get a whole lot from that. So,
well, don't you think at this point they need to? Because in the last release, everyone thought that we were going to get obstacle avoidance on the Mini 2, and there was a lot of people that were upset when they didn't get it, and also I think with the camera too, because they kept the camera the same, correct? They kept it the same. So I think it's about time they at least put, a different camera on there.
I'm glad you said
Obstacle
that.
avoidance. yeah, obstacle avoidance, whatever. So,
But see, here's where I think this is where they keep you. They kept it at a place where no competition was.
hmm
No minis were putting them out. There was no other minis putting out
yeah,
obstacle avoidance when the Mini 2 came out. Xeno came along after that. So they didn't have to. Nobody was forcing their hand in that.
hmm
So now I think is when it's very obvious we're going to at least see forward facing. How many others, if we're going to have 4, 6? I don't
hmm
think we're going to have 8, but will we have 2, 4, or 6 on the obstacle avoidance? So it's hard to say. But yeah, their hand wasn't being forced because everybody that came along, they're like, oh, here's our opportunity to up DJI, and so far everybody's kind of screwed that up. So
yeah,
we really have not had a perfect one with obstacle avoidance. You still can't say that the Nano has six obstacle avoidance sensors. You can say it has them, but you can only say 4 of them work somewhat. They don't
hmm
even fully work. So
yeah,
the bottoms don't work at all, period.
yeah.
Like if you ever go to hand catch that baby, it's not one of these deals where it comes down and stops, slows down. It's coming down, and you're just blocking its path is all you're doing. It's gonna smack into your hand.
So I've seen videos though with the obstacle avoidance detecting on the bottom.
It does
It,
detect. It gives
it
you a
does detect.
warning, but it
Yeah,
doesn't stop.
but I
It
never
just
got that.
it
I
just
never
beat
got the bottom
you
one.
didn't have that update.
Oh, okay.
Did you have 14?
I think I did because I was seeing it before I sent
Maybe
mine
it came
back.
with no, because all the app updates came along at the same time as the firmware updates.
Yeah, I mean, because I was watching other videos and saw people with the bottom sensor, reading on the screen. And I'm like, I don't get that. I
Yeah.
don't get that at all. So,
So in ending this, guys, what are y'all's final thoughts here? Like, what are your inputs on a Mini 3 here? What do you if there's anything you want to say that you think are guarantees or that you definitely have to buy this quad? If you're just flat out not interested and you're here just for the good looks of me and Chad,
mhm.
or whatever. Okay, I see. Real talk. Don's throwing the hammer down. Okay, so real talk. Assuming it has front and bottom sensors and a camera equivalent to the Air 2, how high would the price be to make you not buy a Mini 3? Okay, so let's go with a Mini 3 Fly More. The price that would be too high for me on a Mini 2 Fly More. If it has all the goodies, I'd be mad at myself. I wouldn't be happy with myself paying $1,200. Like, but that's where we're getting up to with the Nano. So that's why I throw that number up there. $1,100 I think is where the Nano is. So I would be I'd be tugging at the wallet at about $1,200, but I'd probably make the purchase, which is crazy, but I'd do it. So that's my real talk. How about you, Chad?
How high? The price that I gave 11. I prefer it to be below 1,000 for me to.
But what's your not? Look at his capital. Come on,
Oh
Chad.
yeah, not to buy it.
Look at the
Oh,
capital
that's
letters
what I'm saying.
there.
I prefer it to be anything over. I don't know. I really don't want to pay the price that the Nano is right now. So, I mean, I would not buy it if it was, say, around $1,100. So the price that I gave for the
Pro.
the Pro, I wouldn't buy it anyway.
Okay. Okay. Good question, Don. Just want to still be able to use the triple tech. So then, yeah, you would want to have the standard type controller, as would I.
Mm-hmm.
As would I, because I'm already set up to use the triple tech for something like that. So with a lanyard.
Those things are expensive, man.
What's that? The smart controller?
Yeah, no, the triple tech. But
the
yeah,
triple
here
tech.
David
Yeah,
Hill
they are.
agreed with me. See, David Hill agreed with me. See, there you go.
Where is it? I gotta get rid of them. I haven't got down that far yet.
But yeah, those triple techs, man, they just I can't. It's too expensive.
Yeah, but you got to consider if you have enough drones and can use them for all those drones, it's paid for itself. Like it's so worth it.
Excuse me.
But if you're buying it for one or two drones, it's expensive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the drone mask. That's high for something that you're just sticking your phone into. It's got the good lenses on it, but to justify that, you never have to charge it, never have to firmware update it, and if you have a lot of quads to use it with, or if you have one quad that you use a lot all the time, I mean, it's worth its price. If you're going to use it, it's worth its price. The fact that you can use it on all your quads is worth its price. If you can't use the triple tech on a Mini 3, that sucks for us that bought a triple tech, because that's when this got expensive, is because now we can't use it. So
can you put up Jeff FPV or Jeff?
Yeah, let me just skim on down as I do. Always willing to put my head at risk when... Yeah, I don't like to do the hand. I'd rather fly it straight at me. I feel like that's... For those who want to see me get hit, I feel like that's good. I think like they're like, oh, it almost hit the fucker. Joe wouldn't go no more than 700. See, that's kind of what I was looking for. Paid $958 for the Nano. Plus premium, I can't see paying much over that.
Yeah.
Look at the capital letters, Chad. He was probably typing that while I was yelling it. Around $899.
Well, that's what I said. I was
me.
leading to that.
Okay.
I was leading to that.
And after Chuck Conrad, I can't see what David Hill says. I can't. It's like distorted, so I'm gonna have to skip that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I'm with you, Chad. Did you text David and just say, "Hey, dude"?
I told you, there's quite a few people in there.
Oh no, David's the only one. Sorry. No, I'm messing with you. I'm here for the great information and advice along with your honesty, just trying to show some support for one of the best YouTube channels, seems.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Gene. Have I told you lately that I love you? No more than $1,000 for me.
Mm-hmm. See?
And
exactly.
Okay, so two people agree with you.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to spend that either. But like, I feel like if I didn't, if it was say at $1,200 or $1,100, I feel like if I skipped out on a few $100, and then I'm watching everybody, and it turns out this thing's kind of spectacular, and it's that right time of year, spring and summer, I'd be really upset.
Yeah. Also, with the DJIs, you can actually return them with probably no problem. Maybe with no problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right back to Best Buy with that bad boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Use my triple tech on all my drones, so he agrees with me there, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that forked out the money for this, you're not going to say it was a waste of money. You are going to justify what you spent on it, and I justify the hell out of what I spent on it. But no,
Go.
you know how long I kicked it around before I actually purchased that. People were messaging me, "Did you buy the triple tech yet? Did you buy it yet?"
Mm,
I ordered Dobo's mount before I had this triple tech. I just wasn't ready to pull that trigger on it
is that
yet. I'll
7
buy
or
a
8?
drone like
Is that an
that,
8
but
inch or the 7 inch?
that's the 8 Pro.
Nice, cool.
Um, use my triple tech on my drones. That's where I was. Okay. I hope Chad is right. We'll take that as an agreement because we all actually hope the lower prices. Definitely hope the lower prices. Need to send me a helmet? No, let it hit me in the head. It might jar up something. Pucker, pucker, kiss, kiss. Learned a lot from this channel for sure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I had a guy chew me out in a comment today about my Nano video, saying that I'm just picking on Autel, that my emergency landing, if whatever you want to call that landing, it didn't look much like an emergency, although I made it sound like it with all my alarms and sound effects and editing, which that seemed to be the favorite part of everybody. But he was giving me a real hard time, saying I'm just doing to Autel what I did to Hubson. This channel is a waste of time. It serves no purpose. And I like to think that I've helped a lot of people. I mean, I'm doing what a lot of people don't do, and I'm giving you what I find, and I show it as proof.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. Thank everybody that says that all the time. That means a lot. It goes a long way because you get a lot more punches than you do how much people appreciate just exactly what you do when they get the focus of your channel. The focus of my channel is not to just be a reviewer and show all the pretty fluffy stuff. Mine is to seek out these problems and find them, which is when it gets really boring with a DJI product. I would have enjoyed the Mavic 3. I would have had a blast blowing that one out of the water, but it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Copy of DJI FPV gimbal. I don't think it's going to be like that at all. It's got that look but that's a protection housing for that gimbal, and on FPV you're not going to have a gimbal, moving around. But maybe they learned something from that with the way that's mounted on the sides with some sort of absorption, or maybe with that quad they got better with their stabilization, their image stabilization, and that's what we're going to have. I still say 3-axis gimbal. Chad is 2-axis gimbal. I got to remember to write that one down too.
But they'll be screwed if they mess up that. If it is a 2-axis gimbal, they'll be screwed if they mess up.
You can't mess up the camera on these quads. This is where these companies have to get it through their heads.
Well, I'm talking about the digital stabilization. If they mess that up, then they really screwed, because you have
if they mess it up to where it's not fixable.
Yeah, it's not fixable.
Yeah.
Because it'll be messed up.
Yeah.
So.
But all these are camera drones. Your focus is on bringing up your camera specs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You can't sell a product with a crooked horizon. You can't sell a product with any vibration in a majority of the models, giving them jello. You just can't do it. You got to focus on this camera. No pun intended with the word focus, but you got to focus on the camera in releasing these quads. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're not going to have a camera issue at all with this. And
hopefully not.
And DJI can usually take that market a little bit better.
Yeah.
So starting to get a little excited there. Nobody told me to calm down.
Don, you see Don's, you're right next to it, I think.
This one, you guys. Yeah, I got to go back and watch that Matrice.
Yeah, I saw half of it, Don. I didn't see the entire video, but
I got to go back and finish it.
It looks pretty solid from what I saw.
And I'm going to just keep on moving down here. Actually, I'm towards the end.
He got 38,000 views, and when I looked at it, it was 38,000 views in 8 hours.
Crazy.
Because I think he's the only one that has a damn drone. I think. I don't know. I haven't seen any other um, creators out there with that drone.
See, told you he gives toffee away.
Oh,
Remember when I
really?
mentioned that?
Yeah.
You were like, toffee? Toffee? Yeah, I mean, he's right there. He works for the company, so he's got a
Okay.
lifetime supply of toffee to give away. I've
Nice.
never won it though. Uh, let me be. Shh, you can't cuss on this channel. Stop that,
Who was that?
Mike.
Oh.
He cussed last night and he cussed tonight. Gotta stop it, man. This is a family channel. Um, any more drone auctions coming up? No, yeah. I ended that, and I ended my ties with Robbie. And
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna get into the drama.
Yeah. That was like.
Remember, I like you till I get to know you is my motto when it comes to being friendly with people. I like you till I get to know you. When you see me just drop somebody like a brick and you never hear me or see me with them, hear me talk about them, I've just found something out that totally turns my stomach, or I just can't. I can't. I don't want to be involved with it. Is what it is. I don't want to be involved with the person. So. Uh, Well, he won't return your calls if you call him a faggot.
Oh
Did
my
you hear about
God.
that?
Who called
J
him?
Turd called Marcus a faggot.
Really?
Yeah,
When on live or something?
On Ray's show.
Really?
No, on Johnny's show.
Really on a live? What did
Yeah,
Johnny
there's
do?
a whole bunch of drama there too, because then Johnny did the natural thing and blocked him, and
Mm.
Ray was pissed that he blocked him because Ray likes J Turd. They're buddies.
Was he in the comments or was he on the actual
He was in
show?
the comments, I
He
think,
was in
and
the
said
comments.
Marcus is
Okay.
gay. Because I guess
Yeah.
Marcus doesn't give him the attention that he needs anymore. So he
Mm.
told Marcus he was gay. Same thing.
No,
You
it's
know, when he
okay.
went around and changed my name, did the fake
Yeah.
YouTube channel QC Gay.
Yeah.
He's got a homophobe issue there
No, he has
to
a
where he's
mental
got to
problem.
nail everybody with the word gay. Where I
He's
just call you a
yeah.
fucktard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I almost forgot about that dude.
Yeah. We made him famous. Nobody
He
would
did.
know him like they know him today if it
Mm.
wasn't for us. And it's really where I became more friends with Don. A lot of people,
Mm.
the friendships formed with that donated the money to
Mm.
give that drone away, that to make his wrong right.
Mm.
If anybody doesn't know, Jaybird Drone did a fake giveaway. I'll make this very quick. Did a fake giveaway and gave a drone away to himself, basically. He had another older channel, and that person won the drone. If you went to that channel, you went and watched the same videos that were on his channel, but older, but the
Mm.
same quads. And you could see him in the video flying the drones. So he gave away, it was the Mini, no, it was the Mini 2. No, it was a Xeno.
Zeno. Yeah, it was
Xeno
Zeno.
2 when it came out. And we decided, since all these people that subscribed to his channel, since they got screwed, we decided, you know what, let's do a real giveaway and let all his subscribers know, or his people that uh, went into this thinking they were going to win subscribing to his channel, and do a Xeno 2 or a Mini 2, DJI Mini 2 giveaway. Was it the Mini 2,
I
Don?
thought, yeah, it was a Mini
Or the
2. Yeah.
original Mini? No, it was the Mini
Yeah,
2.
this is Mini 2, yeah.
And we did a giveaway, and it was great because the way we did it was everybody had to entertain us. They had to make a video, and it had to be like a skit. And generally they were comedy skits, but that's how we met a lot of people. And it turned out to be a blast. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. It was really fun. And that live is still up on my channel. I need to kind of try to revive that to remind people who J Turd is.
Mm.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to go there.
All that got him nowhere.
So, uh, he's saying it wasn't fake. I want to know who that is. Whoever it is, message me later and tell me which one of you it is, so I don't have to go back into try and find my notes who all took place in that. Oh, I bet you I know. You live near me. You're not far from me. I think I know who it was or who it is. Because there's somebody not in here. There's another person not in here. So, Wasmowski.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's who I think it is. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Everybody's kind of died out here. J Turd's kind of killed the show here. So, unless there's anything else you guys want to hear pop up, hear us talk about, we're on a minute or an hour 30, which is a pretty good window. I want to stop there. I don't want to go over that.
Yeah.
I don't like going to this big long 2 hour. I do like some people to come back and watch, or some people that missed it to be able to watch it. So when they see 2 hours, they're like, screw that. I'm not going there. This guy's crazy. So, yeah. So, any final words on you, Chad?
No. Basically, nothing. I got nothing. But thanks for joining us tonight. 2 nights in a row. I know it's a lot to take in, but thanks for coming out for a second.
Well, last night was just blah. It was good. Just interacting with the people in the chat, and then tonight we had a topic, and we stayed strictly on that topic pretty much. We barely fell off the rails on that one. Mike, don't change who you are. Bring the F word to any chat you would like on my channel. But yeah, a back-to-back's okay now and again. I think we've only done, it's only the second time we've done a back-to-back.
Yeah,
There's one time we did 3 in a week.
I'm going to have to go dark after this. People see my face too much. So,
yeah.
Got to go undercover now. It's like, people miss you when they don't see you. So, there you go.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why I don't do a regular weekly thing, because if I did a weekly thing, nobody would come and watch this. Yeah. Nobody would come and watch this show. Yeah. So. You'll see me in all these live streams that everybody's doing. You'll see me for like 2 weeks. You'll see me hit all of them, and I'll be in the chats talking with everybody, and then I'm burned out and I disappear. And it's not that I don't support these people's chats, and some people do take offense that they don't see you in their chats anymore, but I just need a break from it. I'm just not one that likes to sit there and watch every freaking live stream where everybody's the guest of each other. And then the Brady Bunch squares and all that. I can't do it. So
that's a little bit too much.
I support you. I like you. Some of you I don't like and I won't watch. But so yeah, if we did this weekly, it would be boring. We would have to dig up things. We would have to, we'd have to be we'd have to have some sort of gimmick to get people to keep coming back. You don't go there until you're a big channel. When these small channels come in and they start their channel as a live stream channel, and you only have 50 viewers, and you're trying to build that into something, it's a slow crawl and it's boring.
Yeah, it's hard to build your channel with just lives. It's hard to do that. You have to put out videos.
The ones that have really good live streams have built their channel up.
Yeah.
And then they got into going full tilt, always doing a live stream. Not just live streams, but you can guarantee that they're going to do that weekly live stream. Yeah. So, and they do very well. They succeed. So, all right. So, let's go ahead and end it on that one. And thank you, everybody. 34 of you sitting here that I can see, and 34, and another successful live stream. And see you again maybe in about 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks tends to be my average. And so with that being said, peace and love.
Peace.